Dear Dharma friends and all practitioners, today it's the 24th of May 2025. It's a Saturday of every week that we have a topic for recorded purpose for everybody can listen and reminding everybody to practice and believe in their own Buddha nature. This topic, this week's topic is the non-dualistic door. We talking about the non-dualistic aspect of the mind, or the non-dualistic aspect door. Those are the skillful means of using words. And if you don't practice, then you will be attaching to those skillful meanings. But if you practice, then you can detach yourself from the means. When you're practicing, you don't even attach yourself to the questions or the doubt. The pre-thinking aspect of the mind have no dualism. There's no objective or subjective. Everything will be swept up by the doubt. And those are just the words you must practice in order to experience that. Just like Huvan Zen Master said that when you reach the pre-thinking aspect of mind, you need to step one more in order to see your own Buddha nature. The doubt, the questions is a cane and the doubt is a walking. When you walk toward your destination and reach your destinations, you don't need the cane or the doubt anymore. Once again, we need to practice, all practitioners need to practice. That's a use of the canes and the doubt is a walking. So the means, the skillful means is just the way for us to walk toward our destinations. As in the Bảo Đàn Sutra, the sixth patriarch has helped his disciple to who always chanting the Lotus Sutra to detach himself from the sutra and go directly into his Buddha nature. So when we doing these methods, we go directly to our Buddha nature, as in the Diamond Sutra. Tu Bode ask the Buddha, how can we we are in control of our mind And the Buddha taught him that when you have no attachment on anything, there will be a miracle mind appears. And when you have no achievement, nothing to achieve, then that is the bodies of the Buddha nature. In Lăng Sutra, the Buddha said that, also said that the body vows is having nothing to achieve. When you have nothing to achieve, that is a true achievement that you have. So the non-dualistic aspect or the more non-dualistic door is the skillful means the Buddha gave us in order for us to practice, not for us to understand. The Buddha depends on the patients. Different patients can have different medications. It's, however, the diseases is a fake disease. So the medications is also a fake medications. When the Buddha said that when you have a sins in your mind, you need to fix your mind in order to correct that sins. When you can cultivate your mind, which means you correct that sins in your mind, you have to focus in the mind. That's why we need to practice. The Buddha have all these skillful means for us to practice. However, when he creates any skillful means, at the end, he also destroys those skillful means, which means he doesn't want any practitioner to attach to the skillful means. The Buddha in the Lăng Sutra also said that if you feel like you achieve something, don't attach yourself to them. If you don't attach yourself to those achievements, which means that's a good realms. But if you attach yourself to that realms or that achievement, that is the mind of a ghost. So also the Buddha taught us not attach ourselves to anything. Like Duy-ma-Cật Sutra, Duy-ma-Cật use that you using the emptiness of the mind to create everything. So when we use these skillful means to help us to practice, when we're practicing, we detach ourselves to all of these skillful means too. And we believe in our own Buddha nature, no matter what situation or circumstances, we still going on practicing and reach our destinations someday. And that is the topic for this week. If you have any questions or want to share your experience, go ahead and speak up. Pháp Tuệ, go ahead. I'd like to ask you for some encouragement words in the mind, the true mind in the practicing. When we practice, we need a true mind. When we follow a master, we need to learn the Dharma and walk on the way. And if we don't have the true mind when we practice, we won't be able to overcome our habit and our ignorance. As you said, when we have this body, human body, we always have those habits already. And I realized that when we have a true mind, then we can practice without the problem, or that you can overcome the challenges easier. But when you don't have the true mind, then you can have some problem on the way of practicing. And I heard the story that when we practicing, but when we don't have the true mind in practicing, then we still can have some problem in our practice. Could you give us some word of encouragement on this? So the meanings of having the true mind and the true practice, that based on our practice. Our mind is always going on one direction of practicing, and that is keeping the doubt. You practicing even in 1,000 days, you're doing the same practice. Nothing or no conditions or circumstances can affect your practice. The good or bad, the right or wrong won't affect you. When you still have that little frustrations in your mind, it's not the realms, it's not something outside having that frustrations, but your mind having that frustrations. When you said that you have no discriminations or no differentiations, which means you already had that mind, that thoughts in your mind, and you're attaching yourself to that thoughts. As a Buddha said that when you standing in the West, you thinking of the East. When you standing in the North, you thinking of the South. And that is the mind of the thinking mind, that that is a thinking mind that interferes with your practice. In your mind, you always have those thinkings, and those thinkings are the challenges that interfere with your practice. And why is that? It's just because you're losing your practice. When you're losing your practice, your mind will run after all those thinking. People said when you are sad, everything surrounding you seem like sad too. However, all the realms outside are not sad. The sadness is in your mind. Your mind created these emotions of sadness and you attach yourself to that sadness. That's why you saw everything outside. That's sad. When we're running after the forms of formless, which means you're losing your practice, and that is not a straight mind. That is not the true mind or the true practice that you are doing. When your mind still projected outside, which means you still running outside and you have not going back to your stream of practicing. When you still discriminate, when you still differentiate, then you're losing your practice. When all the conditions, all the circumstances that you're dealing with are not challenges at all to your mind, to your practice, then that is the true mind or the true practice that you are on. That's why the patriarch said that just one thought can take you to the heavens, or just one thought that can take you to 18 levels of hells. So your knowing is always there. It doesn't mean that you want to see something far away. You need to extend your knowing, or when you see something close to you, you need to reduce your knowing. Your knowing have no distance. It's just the attachments to your knowing that is an influence to your practice. When you have a true practice, true mind and true practice, and those outside won't affect you. That's why in the poems of repent your mind, when you have a sins, you direct the corrections to your mind in order to correct the sins. All the conditions, good condition, bad conditions, they are both the reminders for you to go back to your practice. When you still have that differentiations of good condition and bad conditions, which means the differentiations, the discrimination are still there. And that's interfered with your practice. So, is that understandable? Yes. Thank you for your words. Kim Hwan, go ahead.
Dạ Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Con kính bạch thầy, kính thưa quý sư phụ đại chúng. Vừa rồi là có một cái bạn đồng tham cũng có chia sẻ với con.
There's a Dharma friends shared that his experience with me. And my friends, before coming to our practice, he was a Buddhist in Pure Land methods. He was the leader of a groups of Buddhists who always very diligent in practice of the Pure Land. However, when he came to our monastery and learned the Patriot Zens, when learning the methods that have no forms, the methods are formless, and he feel like in the spiritual thinking, he have the feelings of the souls of the dead person, and he always having that sometimes. And last he on one trip recently, when he went to a mountains, and he heard that there's a lot of souls in this mountain, and when he took a pictures, everybody's okay, but in his pictures, his face feel like there's a the behind in his face, and he was wondering that is that because of this miracle mountains, people should not take pictures, but he took the pictures, and that's why he had that that face of the beehive when he took the pictures. Is that because of its spiritual feelings that he had, or those are just elusive thinking that he had? Could you give us some words of encouragement on this? So this person, if they writing a horror story, that would be a great story. All those are just the elusive thinking in her mind. When we take a pictures, when we took a pictures, sometimes 100 pictures, only 1 or 2 pictures are good. When you want to take a good pictures, there's many conditions that you need: the light, the colors, and everything should be perfect in order to have the good pictures. However, this person have attached herself to something that's not real. Everything in this world are not real. That's just the dream that we are in. And we try to find something that truth in a dream, and that is not right. When we practicing, which means we going back to our Buddha nature and detach ourselves from everything's going on in this elusive mind. When we wake up from the dream, we don't attach ourselves to what's happening in the dream. So the relatives things are going on in this life. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, they are the dreams that we in. The rich persons still have to go to the end of the life, good or bad. They are still some relative things that going on in this life, like a story of Nanda in the Buddha time, his Buddha's cousin. When Nanda get close to his wedding day, the Buddha Nanda was effective for all the conditions surrounding him. Good conditions brought him good things, and bad conditions brought him bad things. However, when Nanda saw the Buddha, he saw the image of the Buddha. He just followed the Buddha and he forgot his fiancée completely, and he went to the monastery with the Buddha and forgot his fiancée completely. So when he went to the monastery, and during the meditations, he started to think of his fiancée and he wanted to go back. So he asked the Buddha. The Buddha taught him the way to control his mind. He told Nanda a story. He brought Nanda to a forest and showed Nanda a couple of monkeys, and they are couples. And the Buddha asked, is your fiancée more pretty than that monkey, the female monkey? He said that, of course, my fiancée is better than that female monkey. And the Buddha brought him to the heaven, and he saw many angels, and he the Buddha asked Nanda, is your fiancé more prettier than these angels? And Nanda said that no, my fiancé is like the monkey now compared to these angels. So the Buddha told him that if you want to be in charge of these angels, then you need to practice. So Nanda forgot about his fiancée and he starts his practice. And all those disciples of this Dharma friends laughed at him that Nanda is not doing the true practice. He's only doing the practice in order to be in charge of those angels. So he was ashamed of his behavior and he'd been practicing for a while. That's why he started true practice and he realized that he can go in his practice. He feels like he can go to the 18 levels of hell, and he can see that if you're not doing the right, the true practice, then you and then you will have the problem when you go down to hell. So the Nanda, after going down to the 18 levels of hell, he saw the king of hell was waiting for someone to come to the punishment, and he asked who the king of hell is waiting for. The king of hell said that he's waiting for Ananda. So Ananda was afraid that he's not doing the true practice. That's why he came back to his meditations and doing the true meditation now. And after 3 years, he achieved the Arhat. So in this case, your friends has all these elusive thinkings in the mind and been there for a while, and they she just attach herself to those thinking, and that is a problem. We're running out of time.